Learn to be super successful. Subscribe to my channel, Meathead. Before we get into all this is the meat of the QLA model, but I got several emails last night. As I said, the first morning, I believe, some of these guys I don't hear from, but then they watch me on YouTube. The YouTube feed comes, I pop up on them. Oh, I sold this, I did this, I exited this, this got cratered, I got fucked up, I got fucked by my chairman, and I get all this shit, you know. And so I got a plethora of them last night and this morning. And we had 2 exits from the same guy. Because one of the things I tell you the last day when I heated clothes and I'm crying and screaming and going bananas in my clothes, my power clothes, is that if you're fucking smart, you'll exit more than once. In other words, you'll sell a toid, keep 2 toids, sell a toid, a third, and then, you know, and that way you get a blended rate. And that way, just like when I told people to exit Bitcoin a long time ago, the first time it went to 17,000, sell half, keep half. Of course, nobody listens when I say these things. Now, when I say nobody, maybe 4 people on the planet. And the 2 billionaires, Bitfuck billionaires I had, neither one of them listened to me. And they both lost about $1.5 billion each. But last night, one of the guys who listened to me, he sold a third for some $30 million a couple years ago. And he just sold another toy for, if I read it correctly, about $90 million. And he kept the toy, and he's taken that third public for several $100 million. Healthcare. And then one of the other guys, much lesser numbers, but and that guy's not on the Hall of Fame yet. He should be. So I have to verify. I have Deloitte verify it. And only one time in all the years since I started the Hall of Fame have I gotten bogus numbers from the kids. Only once. And I truly believe because he was so fucking thick. He wasn't smart enough to lie, but I mean, he just couldn't add. He didn't know net worth from net debt. I mean, he didn't know. But anyway, that's the only person that's ever tried to bullshit his way up on the wall. And a number of them, you're right, but they're not going to listen. I mean, it's not that I need validation. You won't listen, or you won't do it, or you won't follow the steps. And the best ones are, you know, like when you have a convert Christian or a convert Muslim, they're just, you know, they're like zealots. They're crazy. Well, when they come back to the QLA model after falling off the wagon, they're like converts, screaming and yelling and pounding their chest. And how can you make the morons you understand? And yeah, okay. So I got a number of those emails last night, and but the one that I take most pride in is the guy that actually listened. Sell a third a few years ago, sell another third, and now taking the last third public. 31% to be exact, he's taken public for a few $100 million. That's how the model's supposed to work. And he came to the seminar in 2015, if I remember correctly. I have to go back and check, maybe 2016. We're going to see a little clip here, which I've used before, which if I was a real guru, I wouldn't show you this clip. Because it shows you where most of you are going to wind up. In the cemetery. Play it.
Do you see any movement? No, sir. Not moving, sir. Check the... Bring that over here. Please, dead, sir. Now give way. The head easy. Careful with the walls. Don't hit them. Is there anyone alive out there? Is anyone hear me? Is anyone alive waited too long. Well, keep checking them. Keep looking. If there ain't a lion up there. Can anyone hear me?
That is the destiny of most of the QLA wannabes. Dead. Financially. Because you came here for the wrong reasons, just like all the bad decisions you made all your life. You got married for the wrong reasons, your parents had you for the wrong reasons, et cetera, et cetera. And for the few that came here for the right reasons, which are many, you wind up in the QLA cemetery. And I would be a disingenuous, old, 76-year-old lying piece of shit if I told you any different. And that's it. Marcus knows who he started with, if he still remembers some of them. And they're mostly gone. In fact, almost all gone. But if you take it seriously, like the guy that... I'm going to read it when I'm not on YouTube, who it is. A toid, you can make a lot of fucking money. I mean, more money than you ever conceived of, and certainly more money than almost all of you put down for goals. And I say this because tomorrow we do goals and affirmations. So I want you to think long and hard about it. Back when we started this seminar, rarely did anybody ever say, I want to be billionaire. There weren't that many billionaires in 1993, 94, 95. And then towards the end of that century, and into this century, a few people, and now everybody and their dog says billionaire. You can't even spell fucking billionaire, but they say billionaire. Once in a while, we say we got a trillionaire. The first trillionaire one was a gal about 20 years ago. She had a nervous breakdown, is in a funny farm. She gave it her all and went nuts. She's not the only one that we put in a funny farm. We don't keep track of them. We should have somebody, some smart ass a few years ago said, why don't you have a funny farm hall over here? The ones that either killed themselves or had a nervous breakdown or, lost it. That would be not good advertising for me, but we certainly have more of those than we have a Hall of Shame. I'd need the wall back to the end of the pavilion. I thought we had one die last year, but he pulled out. His heart stopped. His whole system inside stopped. His lungs, his liver, and whatever else can shut down on him. But, and you're going to see him in a little webinar, a little short piece, the last day. But, and he says, I think I saw a tear in your eye, Mr. Peña, when you thought I died. No, the tear, if there was any tear in my eyes, because the fucking deal didn't close. But he lived and he did close the deal, to his credit. But some people are that serious. There's a hip hop guy, motivational speaker, a black guy, says you got to want success more than air in your lungs. I forget his name, preacher something or other, hip hop guy. And but in the early days, that's exactly what Elon Musk. I'd rather commit seppuku. Now he's backed away from that. Human rights people, beat on him to back away from that. I'd rather be dead. But I can tell you, Sally and I have been rich, and Sally and I have been poor, and we would be like Adolf Hitler and his slut girlfriend, and we blow each other's brains out before we're poor again. Can you imagine from this? Now, this is a slight exaggeration to you. That's a reverse quantum leap. And being wealthy isn't all good. Okay? I was listening to one of the things I said in the first day when I reviewed, that's already on YouTube, where it said something like, you become a billionaire, you lose part of your soul. Become a multi-billionaire, you lose more of your soul. That's been very popular online. And if you become a gazillionaire, you lose almost all of your soul. That's not much of an exaggeration. That's not much of an exaggeration. Because other things become important to you. But most important is most everything else is not important to you, like it is to you now. It is to you now. You know, it's not for everybody. That's why I say it's for 0.0001% of the planet. That's about 750,000 people using 7.5 billion people. I know there's more than that, but although I'm sure, I don't know if the numbers are accurate, that there's 2,000 people. There's no way of verifying that using QLA, but they're not using it as effectively. But although those 750,000 people aren't becoming gazillionaires, I can assure you that. But I'm informed today by a very reliable source that there's a major accounting firm in Canada that has a Dan Peña fee model now, called Dan Peña fee model. Unsuccessful deals, 75% of the fees written off forever. That's how many they're getting. That's pretty fucking amazing. It's absolutely astounding, is what it is. We're like, I don't surf. I'm not coordinated enough to surf. But we're on the wave. For those of you that, you know, and in the beginning, I'm told when you first get up on the board, it's a little wobbly. I don't know if that's for back, because I never did that. And, but you stay on that wave, until it ends, don't you? You ride it right into the shore. And when the big tsunami comes, we're going to be one of the few that are on that wave, going the positive way, not at smashing us on the rocks. When I told you this the first day, when Donald Trump told me, Dan, I hear you trying to teach people, poor people how to be rich. And I tell you, when I talk to some of the few people that I have confidence in, that have some brains, they don't believe that you pay me to tell you what's the obvious. They don't believe that. And they said that 25 years ago, 20 years ago, 5 years ago. Now they say, well, fuck you, Dan, people are as stupid as you said they are. I'm teaching you what has been around for over 100 years. And the reason why you don't hear it from Deloitte or KPMG or any of the big law firms or any of the big banks is because they can't charge you fees for something that you can Google. That's the only reason that they don't have a department set up teaching this shit. Because once they give you the advice that you can Google, what are they going to charge you for? There are no secrets here. There are only mysteries. And just by the grace of Allah, serendipity, whatever, I figured it out very early in my career what Andrew Carnegie was doing. Because he was such a cheap fuck, he didn't want to have equity partners. So he based his whole model on commercial debt. That's the only reason. And he saw the people that, when he was a telegraph operator, etc., he saw the people that were the shakers and movers, like the Vanderbilts, etc., they didn't want equity partners. They wanted debt, as they say in Europe. I still don't know why they say debt instead of debt. And I figured it out. And I became more or less infamous. And I all of a sudden was out of the circle of investment banking, just like I'm out of the most circles, because I was telling people, my clients at Bear Stearns and where I was as a young man, that, you know, you should do it this way, not that way, because, and they'll say, but Danny, aren't you're not going to get any fees out of this? I said, no, but, and I must have been naive like the kid back in the back. but I'll have you a customer forever. What the fuck was I thinking? Anyway, I must have been naive, like the kid back there. Because I did a lot of work and I didn't get paid for it. So, think about that. Think about that. Last night you saw Love Means Zero, 8 wives, and I know the old guy. I tried to get him here a couple times, but I wasn't successful. And then Corona happened. He's got 187 or 185, whatever it is, world champions, and he can't play tennis. See, you want to learn how to play tennis, and that's what will slow you down. He can't play tennis. And he uses psychology to trick fuck his students. Very similar to this model. And he comments about the old goat. And he's almost 90 now. He's a cantankerous, which I can relate to. Sally says the older I get, the more cantankerous I get. But any comments or questions about the old goat? Yes, sir.
He had one of his coaches there, and the way he got him to join his team was to tell him that, he said, don't ask me when the day starts or you're fired. Don't ask me when the day ends or you're fired. Don't ask me how much you get paid or you're fired. And don't ask me for a day off or I'll fire you.
A fucking man. Praise the Lord and pass the motherfucking ammunition. That's how the military used to be. It's not anymore. And look at this. Anything else about the old man? Remember, it's the how, not the why. And he certainly doesn't follow the model wanting to be liked. And again, we could show you a lot of world-class coaches, but the world-class coaches are getting softer because the world's getting softer, and it's tough to keep world-class athletes on a leash, so to speak, especially when they make so much money now. When I worked, thank you. Goodbye, YouTube.